Hi, my name is Lee Markham. I sing tenor with the Heralds of Harmony, a barbershop chorus located in Tampa, Florida. And since we're all under quarantine right now, I thought now would be a great time to chat with some of my fellow Heralds, find out how they got involved with barbershop, and why it's great to be a Herald. Enjoy.
There we
Asher
go.
Carlson, everybody.
How's it going, Lee?
Good. How you
Oh,
doing, sir?
yeah, doing okay, doing the best I can given the circumstances and
Of course.
just being musical when I can, enjoying the great indoors.
Yes, and we want to talk about your musical background right now. So for those watching, Asher sings bass with the Heralds of Harmony, and but that's not all you do at barbershop. Tell me a little bit besides barbershop, your musical background.
Sure. So professionally, I'm actually a classically trained clarinetist. Play with a few orchestras in the area, which is super fun. Thing I just love to do. I also have some background in singing, though. I grew up being part of a children's choir up in Michigan. And then when I came down to Florida, I started my undergraduate degree at Florida State and became involved in collegiate a cappella. So, pitch perfect and all that jazz. Did competitive a cappella with the men's group there, Reverb. And Reverb ended up being the best all-male group in 2013 internationally. We did like competitive stuff. We did a lot of choreography and ended up winning some awards. So it was kind of fun later becoming a part of Heralds and being able to apply some of that to Heralds in a totally different musical style and different environment. And then I also love musical theater and have been involved in that for a while. So it's cool to see aspects of that in Heralds and see how we incorporate all that stuff into our performances.
Yeah, and so when did you go to Florida State? Because I was there my freshman year, 2000 to 2001.
Okay, I started in 2010, graduated in
Okay,
2014. Yeah.
I'll be taking my Metamucil now. Um, So so obviously you come from a big a cappella background. So when did barbershop kick in for you?
Barbershop, I kind of learned about it in undergrad because I had some friends in my fraternity, Phi Mu Alpha, who were involved in some barbershop things in Tallahassee and had done some in high school. And then it sort of entered my periphery every once in a while through commercials or through seeing videos on YouTube and things like that. But it really became an interest of mine after I graduated from my master's degree. I got back into singing in a cappella and got interested in that, and just found barbershop to be such a special thing. It's you hear it and you know what it is, and just some amazing things that people do. And it's funny that when I started to first get into listening to barbershop and watching those videos, some of the first videos I watched were of Tony DeRosa, our conductor, and his quartets. And then one night I was celebrating New Year's Eve with some friends. One of them happened to be my friend Josh, who's been in the group. And he said, "Hey, I'm in this group called Heralds of Harmony. We sing barbershop. And I've been looking to get back into singing in some capacity." And the light bulb just blinked right on.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was so ready to give it a shot. And Josh had me come in as a guest and then became a member. And now here we are.
And so when did you join Herald's?
I joined Heralds last year. So last
Okay.
January. I've been in about a year and a few months now. So
Very cool. So what was it like? Because you are like me, where you grew up on Keepsake and Platinum and quartets like that. So seeing Tony on YouTube and everything, what was it like joining the rehearsal and going, oh, he's standing right in front of me and he's going to be our director?
I mean, it was exactly that. I walked in and he comes in like right as rehearsal starts to welcome everybody and always has great things to say at the beginning. And I was just looking at him like, whoa, hey, that's the guy. Like,
That's the,
dang.
I know that guy.
And he's our conductor? Like,
Right.
how lucky are we? That's pretty awesome.
And so now you mentioned before you're a professional clarinet player and you play here in Tampa. So and I hope I'm not giving away any secrets when I say I won't give the song away, but you'll be playing clarinet on one of our songs that we're going to be doing whenever we can have a show again, which is very cool. And so how has coming from that background and then coming from the singing background, how do the two complement each other for you?
Well, it's really interesting because they're both ways of performing music. So when I teach my students, I end up bringing in a lot of vocal stuff into how I talk about like how to project certain notes, how to present yourself as a performer. I know that having grown up and played an instrument and reading sheet music and things like that, it's made sight reading in Heralds so much easier for me to have those pitch relations and things like that. But whether it's an orchestra or a group of people singing together, it's all about the group effort and it's all about working together. Whereas if you're used to being a soloist or used to being like a solo singer, it's sometimes hard to mesh with a group. But really coming from an orchestral or wind band background and getting into this with a bunch of guys, it's that idea of creating something from nothing with a bunch of people who you really enjoy hanging out with. And as far as the clarinet is concerned, like I didn't think that I would be able to bring my clarinetting to Heralds, just sort of the musical approximations, things that I've learned that I can apply to singing and being with Heralds. But I'm super excited about Tony inviting me to do this and giving me this opportunity to just kind of jam with everybody. And it's going to be super fun. I won't give away any secrets either, but it's going to be a blast. And it's an honor for Tony to ask me to do it.
Yeah, definitely. I know we were all looking forward to hearing you play live, and luckily you've recorded your part already, so we've been able to hear it on a learning track. And as our performances get pushed back further and further, it's a little harder to wait for that moment to hear it all. But that's what we have to do, unfortunately. And like you mentioned, you've been with the chorus now about a year and almost a year and a half, you said?
Yeah.
So what's it like coming to, when we could come to rehearsal physically each Monday, or even you could even speak on the Zoom rehearsals we've been having every Monday. What's it like coming back to this chorus week after week?
Well, it's just walking into a group. It's almost like having it's almost like having a family reunion every Monday, but without the drama, right? It's you get to come back and see all these people who you really care about and honestly just really love as a brotherhood, as a bunch of friends and people who share in this amazing musical experience. And you get to come in and see those same people and build relationships and make something together. And and Tony said it so many times in these rehearsals, but we're all just so looking forward to coming back together at some point when it's safe to be together and make those experiences again. And I mean, I'll tell you what, having those experiences, like going to Salt Lake City last year for a competition in the summer and being able to go on stage and say, this is what we've made together. This is a product that we've put our hearts and souls into, and we're ready to show you what we can do as a group for each other and with each other. There's really nothing like that for me. And that's one of the reasons I became a professional musician is that feeling that being able to come back once a week with this group and see everybody and just know you're going to have a great time and share in a really unique and beautiful experience.
Yeah, I totally get that. I having joined last August, the Christmas show, 2019 Christmas show, was my first on-stage performance with them. So, unfortunately, I wasn't there for Salt Lake, but being there in that beautiful church, we had all, just the set and everybody around us and all the guest performers we had. It was a packed house. So I totally understand what it's like to say, we've been working so hard on this, and here it is. So I know that feeling, and it's the family reunion is very good, a good way to put it, because as a whole week goes by before you see everybody again, you don't realize, oh, I missed this. And you think about it from time to time, but you get busy with the week and with work or other things. And then when everybody pops up on that Zoom screen, you're like, oh yeah, I remember these guys. We got to do this. So very well said. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Also add your the bass of our Singing Valentines quartet this past year with Donnell and Stevens. So that was very cool. I've already chatted with those guys on the interview about that. So that was a very cool experience that you and I get to share as well. So looking forward to do more of that as well.
Well, that's the great thing about Barbershop too, is, I mean, when you get a quartet together, you're very mobile, right? I mean, it's a way of singing through chamber music where you can take a small group of guys and go somewhere, as opposed to like a symphony orchestra or the full choir. It's hard to fit everybody in one person's living room. So it was so much fun to just do that and see people's reactions, right, when you go in and sing for somebody, because it's an experience we don't get as much nowadays. You know, you don't get to walk into a restaurant and see a live string quartet, or walk into a place and see musicians doing their thing. You know, we don't have as many buskers on the streets, especially right now, things being what they are. It's something special to have live music, have a moment created in your space to be able to bring that music to people. It's just such a special experience for everybody.
For sure. And I know the woman that we surprised was very surprised to find us in her living room. So,
in a good way, in a good way,
in a good way, in a very good way. But we're just like, here we are. So, yeah, a little startling, but it went over very well. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. And I look forward to seeing you again in person.
Absolutely, Lee. Always a pleasure.
You too, bud. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good.